After years of bulking and cutting, I've realized that I might be doing this stuff too extreme. I've done a dirty bulk 10 years ago where I hit my highest weight ever. I've done a men's physique show and gained 10 kgs of fat in 2 weeks after. I went on TRT, gained a bunch of muscle, then came off 8 months later and lost it again. When I bulk and cut, my face looks totally different as well. My energy levels change and eating a shit ton of food is just no longer that pleasurable. I can't believe I did all those 10,000 calorie challenges. Basically, I get an unhealthy relationship with food. And I started to ask myself a deep question. No, not that question, but this question. When I started, I thought it was, and honestly, it worked. I put on a bunch of size fast. But that's 10 years ago now. My goals have changed and so my approach. So let's get into it and keep watching because I'll show you all of my meals as well. Now first, there's quite some debate in the online space about not needing to bulk and cut. You've probably heard of main gaining, the idea that you can eat at maintenance and then build muscle without adding any fat. And in theory, it sounds great. However, I have a problem with it. In real life application, it doesn't really work that way. If you're eating at maintenance, and some days you might be in a small surplus, some days you might be in a small deficit because nobody's perfect, especially with tracking calories as well. So that'll lead to you maybe being in a slight deficit at the end of the day, and that's not optimal unless you're a beginner. A narrative review by Slater and Phillips shows that muscle hypertrophy can occur in an energy deficit or at maintenance, particularly in untrained or overweight individuals. But for resistance trained lean athletes seeking to maximize hypertrophy, that some degree of positive energy balance is likely advantageous. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to be in that advantageous group. And there's this other study with Eric Helms and others where they compared people eating at maintenance versus a small 5% surplus versus a large 15% surplus. And the result was that the maintenance group barely gained anything. The 5% surplus group gained muscle with minimal fat, and the 15% group mostly just gained more fat, not more muscle than the 5% group. Like, science is not everything. Science is averages, right? And in fitness, it constantly keeps changing. But I can tell you from experience that yes, lean bulking is great, and I don't think that people will be able to eat perfectly at maintenance, so I suggest a small caloric surplus, but you don't have to do the dirty bulks like I used to do back in the day. So my goal now is making some gains, feeling mentally sharp, enjoyment in the gym, and overall health and well-being. Here's my physique before starting this lean bulk. Now this was after a photo shoot, so I gained 3 kgs right after, so my actual starting point was 83.5 kgs. Unfortunately, I didn't take an update video, but this is the best footage I have. Now to find your maintenance calories, you track your calories. Let's take 3,000 as an example. Weigh yourself every day and then calculate the weekly average. If the number goes up, drop 100 calories. If the number goes down, increase 100 calories and repeat. When your weight stays the same for 2 weeks, that is maintenance. So I started this bulk at around 3,100 calories. These macros a little bit lower than I would normally start at. However, I came out of a serious cut, so I wanted to slowly increase my calories. And so I did over these last 7 months. I've upped it to around 3,300, 3,400 calories with these macros. And now let me show you what an average day of eating looks like for me. Now meal number 1, I've been keeping the same every single day, and that is a bowl of oats. So I got 120 grams of oats here, and I mix it with unsweetened almond milk, which is basically water with a couple of percentage of almonds, but I prefer it over regular milk because it's not always the best on my stomach. So I put that in the microwave for 2 minutes. Now just an honest tip here, you don't have to get this tub, it's a bit more expensive. A cheaper version they also have is Impact Whey Isolate, but it comes in a sachet, right? In a pouch, and that's why it's cheaper. So I would recommend, if you're trying to save some money, go for that. It's the same flavor, cookies and cream. And code Marijn will give you the biggest discount on top of that. So 1 scoop of cookies and cream, this is the perfect flavor for in your oats. For toppings, we have blueberries, which is arguably the best fruit there is. Then we have raw honey, which contains polyphenols, just like blueberries, which reduces oxidative stress and helps with inflammation. And then we have 100% cashew butter for the healthy fats and for the enjoyment. It tastes so freaking good. And fish oil gets absorbed best with a fatty meal, so I'm having this right now. Hey, talk to God primo, pass like Pellegrino, yeah. Hey, better pass on casinos, rather give it to as a CI, yeah. Hey. So today I'm training with Dennis. I flew him out here to Marbella from the Netherlands because he won the last Daily Wins challenge. So how did the challenge go?
I lost 10 kilograms in 14 weeks and better sleep, better energy during the day, especially in the afternoon. Awesome. So yeah.
That's amazing. So today we're going to be training together. We're doing an upper body workout because the current split I'm following is upper lower. And what I've also been doing is torso limbs. So that is basically chest, back, and shoulders together, and then on the other day you do legs and arms. And that would look like this, so it's the perfect split for someone who doesn't want to focus more on the lower body than on the upper body, which is usually what happens with an upper-lower routine. And this allows to put a bit more emphasis on arms by hitting them separately, and I really enjoyed this split, and I hope my arms gain some size now. But my main goal was to bring up my chest, and in order to measure this, I've been looking at my strength, and that really is the best indicator of muscle growth. So I've been tracking every single session, trying to lift heavier or add an extra rep or improve my technique. And on the flat dumbbell press, I went from 40 kgs for 8 reps to 47.5 kgs for 6 reps. I also let my ego take the best of me when Rob was lifting these 50 kgs.
Let's go. Come on, push, push, push.
Yeah, we still got some work to do. I know Joe, growing my calves has also been a goal, and I've honestly been hammering them 3 days a week, and I think it looks promising. I've been doing roughly 6 to 8 sets per body part per week, and have not been training to failure on my compound lifts, but I have been training to failure on plenty of isolation lifts at the end, especially as I got closer to the end of this bulk. During these 7 months, I haven't taken a single deload week. This is something I would do regularly back in the day, like every 6 weeks. However, since the training volume is lower, I'm able to keep training, and I really actually enjoy this and don't feel the need right now to take a deload week. We're having a post-workout meal now. I'm doing an acai bowl, which is pretty high in carbs, obviously, but we also have a bunch of fruit in there. Some granola, just a little bit, shredded coconut, super nice, and some honey. All right, this is incredible. Also having a protein shake next to it, because this is very low in protein, right? But then we have the combination. Now guys, I'm also taking on one-on-one coaching clients, not just in the Netherlands, but for the first time worldwide. After, I guess, about 2 years, I haven't done this, all right? So if you want to be on the waiting list, gonna open up a couple of handful of spots next month. Click the first link in the description box if you want to make a transformation like this guy, all right? Did you enjoy the trip here in Marbella?
Yeah, it was really nice, especially with the cold weather in the Netherlands. Being here, it feels good. Having a workout together with you. Awesome.
Yeah, man, and I'm proud of you, man. Amazing results, so keep it up.
Thanks.
Next to lifting, I've been doing cardio 2 to 3 times a week. First one is a zone 2 run, low intensity, conversational pace. You still want to be able to talk while you're running for 45 to 60 minutes. Now, this is for your aerobic base, your heart health, recovery, longevity. It may feel a bit boring, but as you get older, this is really important. So not just while cutting, but also while bulking. The second one is an interval run. This is shorter, more intense. So these are either sprints or hill sprints. This is for your VO2 max, so basically how efficiently your body uses oxygen. Together, these cover both ends of the spectrum, and I add in another zone 2 session on a treadmill after one workout. This is a 12% incline, 5.5 kilometers an hour for 30 minutes. Now we have meal number 3. Now on most days, this will be the post-workout meal, but today life was slightly different. So also I wouldn't have protein powder twice, but once. For my first meal with the oats. Now I had it after the workout because acai bowl was too low in protein. So we're having some marinated chicken. This is from the butcher, all right? We get everything there. Fresh meat, very important, especially these days in the grocery stores. Quality is just lower than ever. Frozen veggies are actually really good because they keep their nutrients. And normally I like to prep this for 5 days. However, some chicken was expired. So good amount of olive oil as well. There we have a meal number 3, and one of the things I've done is in the beginning of this lean bulking phase, I was having my chicken with rice, and then I increased the rice portion a bit. I decreased the protein source, because in general, when you eat more other foods during a lean bulk, protein goes up a little bit automatically. And what I've done at some point is the rice was getting too much, so I switched over to pasta. So now it's pasta every single day, which is pretty awesome. Today I'm having a regular chicken, but on many days I'm having chicken thigh to increase my fat intake a bit, because one of the things that I've also done during this phase is having a higher fat intake, at least 80 grams a day, to make sure my testosterone levels stay high, because those can decrease when you're eating low fat, which is what happened to me in the past. So now I'm always making sure I prioritize my fat intake. For dinner, having salmon, because as I said, I want to get those healthy fats in. These are simply frozen, put them in the air fryer together with some potatoes. Now, one Spanish dish that I've fallen in love with is patatas bravas. I'm not actually making the sauce myself, but I just add this brava sauce together with low-fat mayonnaise and just mix it in with the potatoes. And for veggies, we've got spinach. That is dinner served, a very balanced meal, and then for snacks, I've had 40 grams of 85% chocolate today and 1 apple. Now this was my physique 7 months ago. Keep in mind, this was right before a shoot, so I look extra crispy and there's this illusion of me looking bigger. But now I've honestly made some gains, especially if we compare it to my bulk physique before that last shred. Because there's only a 1 kg difference here, and I think my chest and also my legs, specifically adductors, have been growing since I've isolated them kind of for the first time. Other than that, it's hard to say, but I have a photo shoot coming up in 3 weeks, so I'm gonna shred down right now and then we're gonna see the real difference.